Yo, welcome back to the Urban Ren Show. I feel like it was a long time no see, but maybe not for some of you guys. If you don't know who I am, I do go by the name Dadrian, and I am, of course, one of your Urban Ren Show hosts. And today I am sitting with, I'll let you two introduce yourself, so go ahead.
I am Dr.Ann Burton, internal medicine physician, also specializing in integrative and natural environmental medicine.
Okay, nice to meet you, Dr. Burton.
Thank you.
And I'm Chicita Young, and I'm a plant-based vegan holistic chef from the city of Detroit.
Okay, all right. Well, hey, D-Town, welcome to Flint, Michigan. All right, and thank you for bringing you two's traits out here and being able to talk to us for a little bit on the podcast. My nose, I can't see it because of this little sign that's in front of me, but my nose is picking up a little something. We're going to come back to it a little bit later, but can you tell us what you got for us right there?
Well, I prepared just a sample. And as a matter of fact, I did bring some so that you can sample as well.
You prepared it?
I prepared it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of my creations.
Oh, wow.
And so I am traditionally or historically, if you want to say, a vegan.
Okay.
So I've been eating plant-based for almost 40 years.
Okay.
So I had one of the first vegan restaurants in the state of Michigan. So one of the things that I created for the restaurant menu, I brought today.
Okay.
So I title it Chick-on and Gravy. But it's actually a vegetable protein. Oftentimes you can make those substitutes with the pea protein. So you take your peas and it's dehydrated and then it's made into a flour and then it can be molded into, a food item.
Wow.
And so I also have some fresh organic French green beans that are lightly sauteed and some Moroccan grain, which is couscous, and the added vegetables make it into a pilaf.
I don't even think I have to ask. I was going to get ready to ask you, what did you guys do? But I don't think that's needed. I'm excited to get to that. I'm not even going to lie to you. So how long, and how I'll come right back to, I'm going to ask you both generally the same questions. Any question that I ask, it'll pretty much be for the both of you.
Sure.
But I just wanted to know, how long have you been cooking? How long is this?
Well, I actually discovered, a different way of eating. Like I said, almost 40 years ago. It's going on 39 years.
Okay.
So
I
had to learn how to cook.
You had to,
Yeah.
right? Because most of the stuff was in the stores.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. How's that been treating you so far?
Wonderful. A healthy, more of a healthy path.
Okay.
So it's really served me well.
Okay.
And others.
Okay. And well, congratulations on that.
Yeah.
And so can you tell us a little bit about what you do here in the city or whatever you do?
Well, normally, as I said, I'm an integrative and environmental physician. So when the issue of the Flint water crisis came to our knowledge, basically, that we became aware of, since that time, I've tried to focus my energies and efforts on educating the public and finding projects that I think that would benefit the folks of Flint. And that's when myself and Dr. Joseph Pizzorno came up with our Fine Health, Flint Initiative for Natural and Environmental Medicine project. And that's when I asked our family friend Chiquita to join us in this efforts to promote this project.
So it came to sorts of like a fusion, like a combination type of sorts. Every great leader, I should say, has a team behind them, or every great situation has a team. So
I don't know, she's not exactly behind me. I think it is a collaborative effort.
Right.
Myself and other natural physicians in the country.
Right.
And because the situation with Flint was obviously nationally known, if not internationally known. Okay. So there was interest all around the country, and it has been since that time, to do something for the city.
Okay, and tell me a little bit about how you got the idea to get started or to want to get your hands involved with what you did.
Well, I think it was just abominable. I mean, I can't think of another word that the water became such an issue, and the fact that the cleaner water coming from the city of Detroit had been turned off. My father was a senior water systems chemist for the city of Detroit, so it was on a personal level that I felt really felt for the people, let's just say for Flint. And then my knowledge of the chemicals some of the chemicals and the situation with the fact that on top of it, folks were not drinking any more water. The body is 70% water. So people were afraid of drinking water.
Yeah.
Some are still afraid of drinking water.
And
we need water,
well,
right?
What is that? Like, I know a couple, I'm not even going to lie, I won't say any names here on the podcast, but I know a couple of people who say that they don't like the aftertaste of water, or they don't like the taste. I'm like, the taste? What is that? Why do you think that is?
Well, there's several reasons. For example, the other concern, as you asked me why and how I got involved in this project, there was the additional compounding effect of drinking out of plastic bottles. And we know plastic is a source of at least two of the chemicals, the toxins that Dr. Pizzorno has associated with diabetes.
Oh, wow.
So I felt there was a 1-2 whammy going on for those that had been exposed.
Right.
And we wanted to see if we can address that issue.
Okay, well, wow. Well, first off the bat, I want to congratulate you for your effort, just for putting it in and, like, again, coming up and bringing that up here and letting us know, because I didn't even know that about the bottled waters. I had heard, a couple little cautionary things, like, okay, you don't want to drink out of bottled waters after it's been left in the car, things like that, but you don't even think how it can tie into diabetes. Can you tell us a little bit of the background that you both may have, on diabetes a little bit?
Well, we know diabetes is on the uprise.
Right.
Okay. I mean, at some point, very soon, 1 out of 2 people in this country will have diabetes. That's how badly it's gotten. And a lot of it has to do with the infusion of certain chemicals that have been placed in the foods we eat. And so one of the reasons I involved Chiquita is to get folks to get used to eating food that doesn't have all those chemicals.
Okay.
Dr. Pizzorno had identified, for the sake of this project, has identified at least 5 toxins that promote diabetes, promote the pancreas not working functionally. And that is arsenic, phthalates, bisphenols, PCBs, and PAHs. The latter 2 we may or may not be able to test for. I know the PAHs were not. But arsenic, anybody can go online and see how much arsenic is in the ground. And I mean, it's just red when you look at some of the data that's available on the internet. And it's quite sad here.
And that's what's in our water. And
that's what's in our ground, and it seeps into our water supply, yes. So these folks that have wells outside of the city of Flint, for example, I mean, they're just told to expect arsenic in their water.
And you just kind of have to deal with it.
Like you have it, and just deal with it.
Wow. Yeah, that's, man, I how can we get the knowledge up about that? I won't even lie before I move on here. How can we spread awareness to, just to know how to look for that? Someone that's young, that's not, necessarily in tune with everything like that.
Well, I understand. I think you might want to start with a nonprofit group, the Environmental Working Group, which is an independent group that publishes information like the Clean 15 or the Dirty Dozen. They've been doing that now for years. Okay. And that will let you know some of the, relatively speaking, cleaner foods. You want to look online you want to make sure you are aware of the Superfund places in Flint. Did you know there were 12? There are 12 Superfund. These are toxic dump areas identified by the EPA within the boundaries of the city of Flint.
Wow.
I'm not talking Genesee County. I'm talking Flint, Michigan.
Wow.
And there's even more if you expand out into the county. So going online and looking up, what kind of products you should be using that are cleaner. There's also several different books on the subject. The book I had was old now. It's like 30 years old. But the covers are worn off, pages are worn off, but there's been so many products since that time, in the 90s, since that time, that have come out, and you really need to constantly be updated.
Yeah, and I agree, and that's part of the reason why I love doing this show, is because we get to get all types of people from different walks of life and different knowledge, and come on here and kind of, kick it with me or talk to me about some things that I did not know, but I know there's a lot of people out there that did not know this either. You know, we just kind of just go on every day, drink our water, eat our food, whatever's presented in front of us, and just, all right, that's just our fuel for the day. Let's move on. But it's important to start checking because the facts are there. Please, guys, listen to everything that our doctor is telling us here. It's very, very important. Dr. Burton is not. Diabetes is a serious issue, so we'll just leave it on that.
And I do want to just emphasize, don't take my word for it. You really do need to do your own investigation.
Please do. Right. The proof is in the pudding.
But I wanted Chiquita involved because when you're making changes in your lifestyle, and food is a major part of our lifestyles, we want to make sure that people understand they're not giving up. They're not giving up taste. They're not giving up the major issues, that the major ways they think food helps them, such as giving them protein and a man has to eat meat, this kind of deal.
Right.
And we're not trying to make people into vegetarians or vegans either. We just want to get cleaner foods into their regular regimen.
Right. And so tell us about FINE then, or FI, you call it FINE, right?
Right. So FINE, the
Right.
Flint Initiative for Natural and Environmental Health. What we have done, as I said, is identified those 5 toxins, and we're asking 20 to 30 people to volunteer for our program, where we will be testing folks. First, we need to make sure we know what your hemoglobin A1C is. And then we will be sending your first catch urine in the morning, sending that out to identify whether any of these toxins are in that urine. We will also be having folks involved in education.
Visual
and
learning.
Again, I asked Chiquita to join us, because if you get to taste the food, I want people to have the opportunity to work with Chiquita, master chef in this area of organic food, clean food,
Right.
and see what it tastes like.
So on the opposite ends of things, you know, there's always that person that's out there that's kind of questioning everything.
We like
and
those
you were
people.
talking exactly. So I'm gonna talk for that person that might be watching right now.
Sure.
So you were talking about the toxins being in the food, and you know I hear that a lot, and I know it's becoming more of a thing that people are talking about today. Is it possible for toxins to be in more healthier foods as well? And how can we go about, you know, if there's toxins in our healthy food, toxins in our bad food? Somebody might just be like, all right, well then I'm just gonna eat and just try to watch it. But why is that diet so important in avoiding those toxins? Why is that so important?
Well, we first of all, toxins. If you're using the word toxins, by definition, that's bad. So we don't want toxins in food. If you say, is it okay to have chemicals in food? The issue is every chemical added to food toxic? I think that's probably the question. Well, there hasn't been enough testing done. We really can't say, because we are just, as you say, starting to be interested in this.
Right.
We don't know
Yeah.
every single toxin. In fact, I believe the government, getting back to water, the government has identified 2,100 chemicals in our water,
Oh man.
and have only tested 87.
Oh man, we're way off.
Okay, as of, I think these stats come from last year,
Okay.
as
Wow.
of 2022. So we don't know what's going on, but we do know that there has been a link with certain medical conditions, and that's what we're concerned about. And if you check out Dr. Pizzorno's book, The Toxic Solution, you will see where that data comes from, linking diabetes to the toxins. So our goal with this project is to educate and reduce that toxic load in the body.
Right.
And hopefully you'll see a difference in the hemoglobin A1C, which is the American Diabetic Association standard for the level of sugar in the body.
Okay, and then we have Chef over here just making it all happen. We have Chef over here making sure that all the food is going good and we're keeping as minimal amount of toxins in the food as possible, right?
Well, actually, when you talk about the way that I have not just instructed other people and prepared foods, but lived my life, So the toxicity load has been a concern.
Okay.
So, and it's so much information now as opposed to when I started. If we Google the foods that are toxic, I mean, you'd be shocked at the list that you can, acquire.
Right. And it's right
So,
there. Man.
so I think that in today, with the advantages and the advancements today, it behooves us to be aware. Because things in the food industry change on a daily basis, or we could even say hourly.
Yeah.
Because we have scientists, laboratories that are working to enhance or expand the production of the food items. And so we have to become aware. We have to be our own researchers. We have to be our own educators when it comes to what we're ingesting.
That's true.
So the cleaner, as Dr. Burton was saying, the cleaner the food is, which means that we want to seek out foods that have not been chemicalized. We want to reduce the need for pesticides and chemicals and things like that as much as we can. So that's the whole object of not just fine, but it's a lifestyle decision. It's a lifestyle choice.
I agree with that. I think it is a lifestyle. And that actually kind of leads me up to what I was going to say next. With that being a lifestyle, and it's something that you have to do consistently when you actually want to, achieve the next level as far as health. Do you feel like eventually everyone will it will become a necessity for everyone to kind of grow their own food, whether it's vegetables, fruit, or something?
Well, that's why we have partnered with you guys, the URC, the Urban Renaissance Center, because
Shout out to the URC. Shout out to the URC.
you have, I believe, more than one garden. So one of the main reasons for chemicals in the food, like Chiquita says, for transportation, because we're not eating food near our houses, near our homes. This food is transported all the way from California even further. And in order to do that and to keep those products looking fresh and delectable and everything else, a lot of chemicals have had to be added. But if you eat like our ancestors ate, then you go out to your garden and you get the food. You get the food that you want people to eat, grow it, and I hope we're able to tie into the environmental program here, where you'll be able and taught to grow your food, pull it out, and have Chef Chiquita here help you prepare it and eat it. That's the whole beauty of what you have arranged here.
Right. And that's what I feel like eventually could come to, a lot of places all over the country. And that's, having someone or a group of people that's specifically known for doing like what Chef Chiquita does, and that's preparing the food. And then you have a group of other people like what you do, and that's giving us the information about the food, letting us know what we're doing, what we're taking in, and letting us know what to watch out for. If everybody put their hands in one big old pot, we could do this thing, it's just...
Well, there's a lot of things. I mean, there is a challenge. I'm not going to say it's that easy.
No, yeah, definitely. Yeah. But it's a start. We don't even have a start, except for what we're doing here. And what you're bringing here is kind of giving us a start. And it has to start somewhere. It can't be 100% moving like a factory yet,
And I love the idea of a village because it's a community garden.
Right.
It's a community garden. Some of us don't have room. Some people don't have... I don't even have a backyard. I can't grow much from my place where I live. So, but if you have a community garden, that's one way of getting around that, and everyone's pitching in. And this is how everybody ate for thousands of years.
So how do we interest like the average person into getting started though? Somebody like you said that doesn't have a yard, but they need the food, they need the things like that. So how do we get someone interested in starting it then?
Well, like this little project we have here and our conversation that we're having, promoting this issue. I go to meetings. I have several meetings scheduled in the next couple of weeks with people in the community. The more the word gets out, the more we present evidence-based medicine to show. The father of Western medicine, he's credited, Hippocrates is credited as saying, "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food." So if that's true, then certainly we can address a lot of chronic illnesses.
Yeah, there we go.
And there are areas in the country already that are doing this. They have group fact right in Detroit, I believe. There are several areas of the city, my hometown, by the way, of folks working, folks working together on a community garden. And I love, and I know we have some here in Flint as well, but we need more. Yeah. And we need more people understanding its importance.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, just to kind of segue on what you were saying in terms of the community gardens in Detroit, we have some people who have really started multiple gardens on some of the vacant lots. The cities recognize that, and one of the main persons that I have to salute, Malik McKinney. He has a whole plot of land in River Rouge Park. So he started this initiative that highlighted the food desert in Detroit and the need for us to grow our own. And so now, as a result of that, Detroit has a food co-op coming up.
Oh, wow.
That's a real big deal.
Okay.
But I wanted to kind of say something, I think, to your question, how can you get people to understand and know the significance of this? The word that comes to mind for me is survival. Survival can encompass a lot of levels, but when you internalize that word and think to yourself, whatever it is that you may be facing, you want to survive it.
Yeah,
if it's a health challenge, you want to survive it. Yep. If it's a community crisis, you want to survive it.
Definitely.
So we have to think in terms of survival. And I think, like you said, going back historically, our ancestors, that's why they had cellars, where when they grow their own food, they had the information and the knowledge of how to sustain that food throughout the winter when there was not a growing season.
Wow.
We need to know that. We need to know, maybe not exclusively how to can food, but we need to know how to expand our food storage. Yeah. We have freezers today. So there's a system that you can freeze certain things. We don't want to do a lot of frozen things.
Right.
But yeah, we have to know how to do different various levels of things for our survival.
No, I like that. Honestly, I think that's a great pitch right there. Telling people this is what we're going to need to start doing in order to survive, because when you put somebody in that mindset, you actually get to see their real fruits of what they want to do, because when it comes down to survival, you're going to do what you got to do.
That's right.
And so, okay, well then I'm going to ask, and this is a question that's for both of you. I'll start with whoever wants to go first. But if you were pitching, what's the word I'm looking for? If you were pitching a young person or a protege, that's the word, to do what you do, how would you pitch them? How would you pitch them to join and kind of take your place over what you were doing, or pitch the next person coming up and let them know what you do? Kind of make it sound a little interesting. Let them kind of want to get involved.
Well, I would say this. I use the concept of ancestors, and I know we don't pay that much attention, but I would say, speaking to those that are hearing this and seeing this, I would say, look, we need to think about what our ancestors did and how they survived. We owe a lot to the fact that they were around long enough to have our lineage. We don't know who they are, but we honor them through every day we wake up and we're alive. And to do that and to keep that going, we want to be as clean and eat as clean as we can and be exposed to the clean air, clean water, and clean food. I mean, those are the main ones. So I feel I owe it to those that came before me, and I think about their suffering, and I think about what they went through. Right. And I eat so that I can maintain my strength and be as alive and healthy as long as I can.
Right.
That's my pitch.
I just want to quickly say, in my instance, we have to understand and know there's a lot of competition out here when we're talking about young people.
Yeah, we are.
So for me to approach a young person to persuade them to eat a little differently, what I've done in the past is, first of all, fast food is a huge competition. So to get them away from thinking that, I want a McDonald's or Taco Bell, whatever it is, I just duplicate that in a healthier version.
Okay, give me a quick example.
So in terms of Taco Bell, I do well, in my case, it's a vegan or non-meat taco, but I call it Mako Taco.
Mako Taco.
Yeah, so it looks just as delicious.
Okay.
I don't have the whole variety of the Bell that the Bell has, but yeah.
Hey, it's a Mako Taco.
Oh yeah, Mako Taco.
Right.
Oh, and I can do a hood pizza too.
Oh,
a hood pizza.
A hood pizza. Man, come on,
Yeah.
I don't know
So
nothing about that.
that's what I do. That's my approach, and I've done this with younger people in school settings.
Okay.
And in personal class settings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I want to try a Mako Taco and a hood pizza,
Okay.
please.
Uh-huh.
All this talking about food kind of got me excited. So I mean,
Yeah,
before we
we
get y'all
got
out of here, please tell
We
us one
got
more
you.
time.
What you got you?
Let me can we please show us what you got under there?
Okay.
And let's go ahead and however you plan on doing this, let us know. The floor is yours.
As I said, that's why I typed up the list of everything, that we have on display here. So this is actually the vegetable protein. Okay. As I was saying, the whole process is you break down the vegetables, you hydrate them, you dehydrate them, and then you make it into a flour, and then you can make the meat substitute, if you will. If that's something that will help a person transition.
And it looks like steak.
It is. Mm-hmm, it's not always necessary, because historically our folks didn't eat meat 3 times a day.
Really?
Or 5 or 7 times a week. I know when I went down south as a kid, our biggest meat consumption was on a Sunday. We had beans, we had greens, we had cornbread. Those are the things that really sustain the body, especially if you're in the field.
Yeah, that's soul food.
Plus, if they did away, had a meat serving, that was profit.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you really don't have to have that.
Okay.
Not even in a substitute, but, just like the green beans, they're just, plain green beans. I don't cut them and just leave them like that. Cut them with a knife.
Okay, like the string
our molars are designed to crush and chew. And that's another thing that I tell people. We don't chew enough because digestion starts in the mouth.
I heard about
and we
that.
have to incorporate our molars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we're supposed to chew that food so that we can digest, properly.
Stop some of that
Yeah,
indigestion.
so yeah. Mm-hmm. So we don't have to cut our food up into little tiny pieces. Because when the little tiny pieces, you can swallow them right down.
Right.
So we want to incorporate that chewing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so.
Okay,
and then that's the Moroccan grain. It's couscous.
Okay, couscous.
And, or the North African grain. It's, synonymous with those areas of the country. And I just put the red bell pepper, green onions, carrots, grated carrots, and season it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. That looks really
So you have to tell me later once you all sample it.
Trust and believe as soon, I really just don't want to, for any of the people that's watching and don't want to see us tear up the whole table, tear up the whole plate. I want to save their eyes right now. But it's definitely, we're going to try it, and I can't wait to let you guys know how it is. And again, I do appreciate you both for coming out here and just spreading this awareness about FIND and about everything that you two are doing. So if you guys have anything that you want to say to the people watching before we let you guys go, please.
Well, I would like to say that if you're interested, if you have type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes, please contact me. You can leave a message. It'll be 810-820-1045. We also have a website that you can see soon, I hope. We'll be seeing Chiquita online with a tasty dish. And part of our program, as I said, is that you'll be able to learn these dishes and work with her hands-on.
Definitely we want people to be a part of this program. We want to encourage survival and being fine.
Being fine. I feel fine today. How you two feel today?
Fine.
Are you in fine health?
Oh, I think I am.
Okay.
I think I am, but I might be in better health after I try this.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So, okay, everybody, thank you for coming in and checking out the Urban Ren Show. Again, my name is Daydream, and shout out to everybody behind the cameras for helping out with everything today. And you have yourself a great day. We'll see you soon.